guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this specific piece that I have here, if you want to see how I did it, check the video before. This one I'm just really focusing on how I do my ocean waves. I have people asking me, so I really wanted to focus on that. So I put out my 2 cups so I don't forget, because sometimes I forget to have my clear resin, and then of course with my resin, the white resin for the ocean waves. So I put 2 out so you can see I already mixed up my resin here and getting everything ready. So I use Just Resin Titanium White. I love this. I love it, love it, love it. I have used others, which I have a video on that too, on using different ones to see what the cells come out and how it looks. But I do like Just Resin. I use this one typically. So here I'm putting my 2 cups of clear resin on the side. So they're there. Like I said, sometimes I forget. So now I just started doing it right at the beginning. I used to do it at the end and then I forget, like I was saying. So here I'm just putting alcohol ink. I really want it to be transparent. I want to give it some depth as we go, because I'm really going to put I think I'm going to put like maybe 3 more waves on this. It's going to look really nice. So here I'm mixing it up, and as I'm mixing it up, I kind of noticed that this is more green. So that's okay. You know, I just put more alcohol ink in it to make it a little bit more blue. And I hope this tutorial helps you guys with these ocean waves, because I have some little tips for you that took me a while to figure out. So here I'm laying it a little bit further back than I really want, because I have to put the other 2 cups of resin in front of it. Now, this is the first tip. My board is tilted. So in the back, I only have 2 cups on each side, on each corner, right? In the front, I have a stack of double cups. So on each side of the front, I have 2 cups, so it's tilted. So I hope you guys can understand that. So in the back, it's just 2 cups holding it up. In the front, I have double cups, so there's 4 in the front. Because if you don't tilt it, then you run the risk of, you know, doing a beautiful wave and you love it and you walk away, and then that wave takes over the whole freaking art piece. I've had that before. I'm like, what happened? So I started tilting my art pieces. So here I'm just spreading out the resin. I'm just putting thin layers to see how it does. I probably mix a little bit too much resin, but that's okay. I'd rather have too much resin than too little. We all know this as we start playing around with resin. You don't want to have to mix up some more. So I just kind of left this in real time, because so you can see it takes a while to do this stuff. So here, I'm just going to make sure I spread it out evenly, that I don't have any little gaps, because when you start pushing your waves back, if you have little areas of dry, you see those spots right there? I'm like trying to spit it out. Those areas that is like dry, so I'm just filling it in, because when you start with your white resin, it won't fill in those areas. So I'm just making sure everything's spread out really evenly, and then I'm going to use my my torch, go over, pop any bubbles and stuff like that. So this one's looking good. I'm really happy how this wave came out so pretty. I'm making sure everything's even here. So remember, important tip, that board is tilted, and depending on how you want it tilted and how far you want your waves to go back. So like if I want waves that cover this whole end, I would tilt it more, right? And I would put more of that titanium white, depending on what you're working on. This one, I don't want it to move back too much. That's why I didn't tilt it too much, because I'm trying to work on small waves, because I want to try to get maybe 3 more waves in there. Okay, so here's my clear. This is the first cup. So I'm putting clear. I'm putting it in front of the resin that I just laid down. So this goes in front of the resin that has the alcohol ink. So I'm putting that in front, and I'm putting a good little thick layer, because I do want to create that that space, and I want the titanium white to just like flow right over it. So this is another tip coming up, which I'm going to tell you in a second, because I'm just going to show you, the Just Resin Titanium White. I always kind of mix it when I open it. That's just what I do. And this goes a long way. I've had this for like maybe 2 years. So as you see, I mix it. I'm taking it off of the stick. You do not need that much. You don't want to overload it. If you have a piece that is that has depth, like resin depth, like more resin, like if you do something like a tray or something like that that has more resin in the bottom, if you make this too thick, it's gonna sink and it's gonna mess it up. It's not gonna stay on the surface and flow over. So just FYI, be very sparingly with it. I don't even think I said that correctly. But anyway, let's move on. So I mixed it up really good. So what I want to tell you here is, this is what took me forever to figure out. You need to put this white resin in front of the clear. So again, in front of the clear. If you put it on the clear, you run a risk of, when you start heating this up, that's going to be choppy. It's just going to be choppy and wavy. It's not going to have that nice line that you see right here. And I've messed up plenty of projects because I'm like, why is it all choppy? I don't like the way it's coming in. It doesn't look like a good wave. And that's what it was, that I was not putting the white in front. Always heat up before I go. That's your preference if you want. I just like to heat it up, get it ready to move on. Here is my heat gun. Look at that nozzle. You need that nozzle. You can see this has been used quite a bit. Now, when I start heating up, you can see that I'm holding it very still at that angle, maybe 45-degree angle. And I'm just kind of going from one corner to the other. Of course, after I do this little part, I wanted to get some waves over there. So not really too concerned about what's going on here because I'm going to put a couple more layers over. It's just really going to give it depth. So here we go. See how I'm holding 45 degrees and I'm just moving it along here. Remember not to hold it in a spot for too long. You can burn your resin. You don't want that. All fire alarms going off in the house. Everybody thinks the house is burning down. It's happened. Been there before. So kind of just move nicely and glide it. Look how pretty that is. That's coming out nice. Yep. So I do pass the torch again. That way I can make any cells that it's going to make. Here I'm torching it again. Now, as I'm looking at the back, don't judge. There's a little area in the back I don't like, but I'm going to go ahead and add some more resin back there. I know it's probably going to move around in the end, but it's going to give it more depth as you create more layers. So here I am. I have, a little bit of clear resin. You don't really need to put the clear resin down, but since I had it, I just went ahead and put it down. So I'm putting that clear resin down. Again, I don't really know what I was thinking, but I don't know. I guess maybe I was trying to think that if I put the clear on, maybe it won't pick up too much of that alcohol ink blue and it won't turn my wave blue, but regardless, it's fine. So you're gonna see as I do this wave that I'm not really worried about pushing it out or not, because remember, this is in the back of the board, and as you heat it, it's gonna move back anyway. So this wave is gonna change just like the wave underneath it changed. But again, it's gonna give it depth in the end because I'm still gonna put some more waves over it. So don't judge that wave in the back, but it's gonna give it depth. You'll see, trust the process, trust it. It does work. So as I was doing that wave, I noticed the wave that I put down is not as white as I wanted it. So, I mean, that happens. So what I did is I just mixed up a little tiny more of just resin, titanium white, mixed it up, and I'm putting it. So now you can see the difference. See how much whiter that is? That's what I wanted. So again, I put that in front of what I laid down already. So it gives it that nice smooth edge that you see. So when I go to heat it, you'll see when I hold my my heat gun that I'm not holding it as long as I did with the other one. I'm kind of brushing over faster because there's already some cells there. I don't want to overload it too much. So here I'm going and pushing it kind of fast, but it's still going to give it such a nice look. And I did want it whiter, so it's fine. Again, this is, trust the process. We make mistakes as we go and we fix them, but I think this is really going to come out pretty once I'm done. Again, if you want to see from the start, more or less of how I started this, check out the video before. So remember to torch. That helps bring out these cells, right? This one, I'm not going to get too many cells with it, but that's okay. I'm not looking for a whole bunch of cells, but I am looking for that depth. So here's a close-up. Look how pretty this is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I'm loving it. You can see all the little cells there. It's beautiful. Remember, I'm going to put like maybe 3 more waves on this. So ultimately it's going to have depth, but I just really wanted to share how I actually do this wave. So I'm just giving you different looks, different angles. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. I like to share the knowledge that I have, and I like creating resin. So, and you can follow, subscribe, and thank you for watching.